We all know that RV manufacturing is definitely slowing down a lot, but today I'm going to go over that and some interesting statistics around it, as well as a few other things like problems with Starlink, RV loan interest rates, and what's coming down the line next in the RV industry. Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Again, we're Will and Jen, and today we are doing our monthly industry update. Now before I jump into things, I want to give you guys a reminder to make sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. We do Wednesday videos like this, which we kind of try to do in the RV industry and how-tos, and then we also do our Sunday vlogs. Last week was a great vlog of our first Mattress reviews rally, and it was such a great time. Definitely go and check that out. Cool, so jumping right into things, I want to talk about the most obvious and kind of probably the biggest topic, and that is that RV manufacturing is slowing down. Now, I've been talking about this a few times, but I haven't dove deep into this, and truthfully, I really think this is a good thing that's happening right now. The reason being is because number one, honestly, over the last years, everybody's been so overwhelmed. Factory workers have been working their butts off, trying to get RVs cranked out. Everybody was making great money, of course, but it was time for that to shift a little bit. And the reason being is because truthfully, I don't feel like customers were getting the best product, because I do think that there was a lot of overlook and there was a lot of rushing, and it was all about getting the unit out the door. And the other thing is that there has been little to no innovation over the last couple of years. So I think that what's going to happen is over the last couple of years, nobody has cared. They just want an RV. It doesn't matter what the latest and greatest is and the cool new air conditioning systems or leveling jacks or whatever it is. All that's been really cared about is, hey, we need something that'll fit our family, and we want it to be decently nice and at a decent price. And everybody was buying them up. And so truthfully, it was smart for the manufacturers to not throw curveballs at all their factory workers, keep everything consistent, keep them efficient, and just cranking them out from a business standpoint. In doing that, I think that they put too much pressure on the factory workers to crank it out. And what a lot of people don't realize is most of these factory workers are not paid by the hour or salary. They're paid based on how many units go out the door. So during this time, they knew they could make a ton of money pushing these units out. So of course, in return, I can almost imagine the warranty work has been up, or warranty claims, I should say, has been up for the manufacturers. The flip side to that also is they've been telling their designers and their engineers, hey, just pump the brakes a little bit. We don't really need anything new right now. We're gonna sell out anyways. Now it's going down to where factories are working 4-day weeks. There's some factories that have taken kind of like vacations. Hey, we're closing down for 2 weeks. Just for the orders to fill, for everything to get caught up and to build more business. So now I think that the pressure is going to be on those engineers and designers. Hey, now we got to be the top of the market. We're competing against these brands. We want to win the majority of the time. What can we do to make that happen? It's going to take the pressure off of production and put it more on innovation, which I actually think is really, really cool. No matter what, there's a lot of new people in the RV industry, right? And everybody always, and I've said this before, everybody always thought that those people were going to be out of the market once COVID stopped. And of course, there's a good, really, really good chunk of them that did leave. And, it was short term for them. But the flip side to that is a lot of the people did stay because they enjoyed the lifestyle. And they are going to be in a position, whether it's in a couple months or a couple of years, where they want to trade in and they want something a little bit cooler, a little bit better, or a different feature. And so I think we'll start to see those options coming. And truthfully, me personally, that's the market that I like to see is, hey, what are you doing to really compete and give the customer a better product? So I'm really excited to see what comes down the line. I don't think that'll be for the 2023 models, truthfully, because they're just now getting caught up. I think it'll be either a 2023 like mid-year change, but more likely I think we'll see a lot of changes around this time next year when the 2024 models release. But just know, behind the scenes, I think that they're working big on that.
Before Will gets into the next industry update, I want to take a second to thank the sponsor of today's video, Brooklyn Bedding. If you ask any RVer what's the first thing they replace in their new RV, it's the mattress. Most of the standard RV mattresses are super cheap, thin, and just uncomfortable. And if you're like us and you spent a lot of nights sleeping in your RV, then you're definitely going to want to upgrade it. When we bought our fifth wheel, I struggled to really get comfortable on our original mattress, and most mornings I woke up with a lot of back and shoulder pain. Honestly, it was more like sleeping on a rock. That's where RV Mattress by Brooklyn Bedding really saved the day for us. They make ultra luxurious mattresses perfect for RVers, and they come in a variety of styles and sizes. We went with the Aurora Hybrid mattress in the soft firmness level, and seriously, it feels like sleeping on a cloud. It has 6 different layers to provide you with the most incredible sleep, but my personal favorite is the 1.5-inch Copper Flex with Titan Cool. This is a layer of water-based surface infusion with high conductivity properties that literally draws the heat away from your body, which all sounds really fancy, but basically makes for the perfect body sleeping temperature. Will sweats a lot in his sleep, and this mattress has really helped to cool him down and sleep more soundly, and you can literally feel the cooling effect when you just touch this mattress. It's kind of insane. What we really love about Brooklyn Bedding though is their 120-night sleep trial. Mattress preferences tend to vary person by person, so it's hard to know if you'll really like a mattress before you sleep on it for a few nights. That's why Brooklyn Bedding gives you 120 nights. Yes, 120 nights to test out the mattress, and if you don't like it, you can get a full refund or exchange it. They also offer a 10-year warranty on all mattresses, free shipping, and they're made right here in America. They even deliver your new mattress right to your door, and it comes shrink wrapped, which makes it way easier to get into the RV, and it's actually really satisfying to watch it inflate. So if you've been wanting to upgrade your RV mattress and get a better night's sleep on your camping trips, then make sure to click the link down below or scan this QR code right here, or here, or here, and use promo code WillAndJen for 20% off your purchase. Thank you so much to RV Mattress by Brooklyn Bedding for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to the industry update.
All right, so moving on, but kind of along those same lines, is just overall production in general. And again, we all know that sales are down. Here's an interesting stat though that I learned the other day, is even with the industry being down a little bit, they're still expecting the second best year of sales industry-wide ever. So that's really interesting because really a lot of us were expecting a big crash and like a lot of people, sitting on inventory, a lot of dealerships sitting on inventory, and we are seeing that. But it's interesting because obviously we peaked, right? But to still be holding, and coming down a little bit, but still holding pretty well, that's interesting. That just, again, goes to back my point that a lot of people who got into the market are still staying in it. And that's why they're keeping those sales up still. Again, yes, it's down year over year compared to last year, but if you look at it compared to the last, 5 years or less, you will see an upward trend for what's expected this year. So again, that's really, really good, truthfully, even for the customers, because if everybody always thinks like, oh, once the market crashes, I'll be able to get a good deal. But truthfully, it's gonna hurt more people than it's gonna help, because if new sales drop, there's not a lot of people buying. That's really gonna hurt the people who are already in the RV industry, because I can guarantee a dealership isn't gonna pay top dollar anymore for the trade-in. And as soon as you can start getting a new one for the same price as your used one, now your used one drops even more in value. Just overall, it's not good. We knew that the market was gonna dip a little bit, but seeing it hold and continue in a strong pattern is really good for the RV industry as a whole, manufacturers, dealerships, salespeople, but also the customers, especially those who already have them. And kind of piggybacking off of that point, again, a lot of people thought that RV pricing was going to go down once the COVID craze settled down. We're actually still seeing the opposite, mainly due to inflation. So I have a little example that I'm kind of giving. If a year ago there was a motorhome or any sort of RV that was $100,000, and let's say back then you were only getting 18% off of MSRP, that would have made a sale price of $82,000. Now that same motorhome, truthfully, is probably around $115,000, $120,000 now. So let's say could go at the lower end at $115,000. And now you are getting a bigger discount from the dealership since we are, there is more inventory on dealership lots. So let's say you got that at 25% off. You're still at $86,250, which is $4,250 more than it was last year. So a lot of people last year were saying, I'm gonna wait for it to settle down, get a good price, and just wait it out. And truthfully, I think that's actually come around to kind of bite a little bit. And not because of the manufacturers or the dealerships, strictly just because of the economy that we're in right now and the crazy inflation. Because again, that's a bigger discount for you, but the starting price is much higher just because the price for them to build it is a lot higher. All the materials, all the transport, everything has gone up so much. Again, and that's why I always tell people, don't do anything till you're ready. Like, don't let a salesperson or a family member, a friend, or whoever push you into something till you're or push you into something when you're not ready. You always take that time. Don't jump on it because it's at a show or a big sale. But once you're ready, don't wait. There's so many people who are waiting around thinking they were going to get a better price. And, use that example. You're not getting a better price today, even if you waited out the COVID craze. And you just missed the last 2 years of fun with your family. And especially if you have kids and stuff, again, people have talked about this before. You only have 18 years with each kid before they're off to college, or at least till they're adults, right? Not saying they won't continue camping with you some, but even before 18 years old, a lot of times kids will do summer camps and stuff. And it's like, you really want to miss a couple of those years to save maybe a couple $1,000s, when in reality, like in this example, you actually lost money and you lost the time with your family or friends or whoever it is. So again, always keep that in the back of your mind. Maybe this inflation will go back down and it'll change again. But again, just based on history, it's not going back down. Most of the time it doesn't. It's just going to continue going up. And even if it did go down, because there is a time where I'm probably going to be wrong and the RV prices do go up, who knows when, in the next 30, 40 years it may happen. And I would still stand by that it's really not worth it to save a couple $1,000s at most. So again, don't let anybody push you into anything, but don't wait once you're ready either. Okay, next point I want to talk about is the used RV market. And here's the thing, the used RV market, again, this is an area where I was a little bit wrong. The used RV market has already actually really started hitting pretty hard. I've been seeing a lot more used RVs on the market than I thought. I thought it was going to be more in the fall, but early summer really started. If you go to any Facebook group, any buying and selling and trading or whatever, you will see people selling their RVs more than they were before. That is where I do see a little bit of a drop coming, just because they have been almost like artificially inflated. NADA, every year the values go down, except for like the past year and a half. And so it's normal for the used RVs to go down in value. It's not an appreciating asset. It is, depreciating. So I do see them coming down. Right now, I don't see it as critical as I thought, just because the overall market is holding better. But again, still, if you're trying to sell your RV or trade, now probably is a good time to do it, because I do think the used market is going to come down soon. How bad, I don't know. I think it'll be minimal. But again, if you're trying to sell it, obviously you want to sell it for as much as you can. Now's that time to do it. I still think that there's going to be even a little more of a boost come this fall, but we'll see what holds out and what happens. Something else interesting is we all know interest rates have gone through the roof, right? Especially with a house. So with the house that Jen and I have, we refinanced like a year ago. We have a really low interest rate. I mean, it's probably costing the investor more money than they're making off of us, right? It's crazy how low it is. We got used to that, I think, as a society, and that's just not the norm. I mean, with inflation and with the cost to service a loan and everything, with the way that the loans have been, especially on houses and cars, there hasn't been a lot of money in that for the end person or for the investor. So it's normal for interest rates to go up a little bit, and typically that's actually a sign of a stronger economy. But rates have really jumped up a lot. And so that's been across the board, Not only have house rates gone up, but car loan rates have gone up a little bit, and RV loan rates have gone up as well. So you will see that if you're going to purchase a new RV. Now, here's the thing. You can always refinance an RV loan. When Jen and I first bought our house, the rates were a little bit higher. And so we took out a loan to get into the house when it was cheaper. And then a little bit later, we refinanced our loan into a rate that was much cheaper than we were even expecting. And that's kind of all that it's about, right? Hey, make sure you can afford that payment today, but just know there is that option. If rates do go down, you can always refinance your RV loan. A couple things. Obviously, you're still going to have good credit and good income. And the big thing is make sure that you're not underwater in your RV. Put enough money down, make extra payments if that is one of your goals. Again, I don't think loan rates going up is necessarily the worst thing. because there has to be an upside to that investor. But you as a buyer, you do want to still try to find the lowest rate that you can, and obviously know your options if that is refinancing down the road. And a big thing with that, people always ask like where to go for rates and stuff like that. I always recommend the dealership. They have great relationships with the banks. A lot of times they'll make a little bit of money on it. They'll get a kickback from the bank, which in turn means you can negotiate a little bit harder, get a little bit of a better sale price on your end because there's more money in that deal. But also they can usually negotiate a rate, make a little bit of money on it, and still have it better than if you went to the bank directly. It makes no sense to me, but it's just the way that it is. But I still always encourage people, check out your credit unions. Credit unions can be good, can be really bad. But see what they're offering, your local banks, whatever it is, whoever you normally bank with, still check them out. If you can save a little bit of money on rates, a lot of times that can be a lot bigger savings than trying to kick them, try to beat them down a little bit more on price. All right, the last two topics are also going to be kind of around that inflation. So the first one is actually something that a friend in the industry mentioned to me. So credit to him if he's watching. But it is kind of on the dealership end, behind the scenes, that the customer may not see. But the way that a lot of these dealerships work is they have what's called a floor plan, which is basically a line of credit. It could be a couple million for a small dealership. It could be 10, 20, 30 million. I don't even know the max of what it normally is. We're actually starting to see how this credit limit or the floor plan is going to kind of hurt that dealership a little bit, because obviously when you go to a dealership, you want to see a variety of things, right? The more units they can have on their lot, the better. And it's not even so much to have every brand so that they can sell it, but if you come in, they want to be able to show you, hey, here's option A, option B, option C, option D, and that way you can compare, hey, I really like that mid-price one, or the really expensive one is worth it, right? And the problem is with inflation, a lot of these floor plan credits haven't gone up just because the banks are a little scared of the industry. Who knows what's going to happen, right? A lot of times these floor plans or line of credits have not gone up, but the cost, even the dealership cost to get a unit has gone up so much, right? So for easy numbers, let's say they had $1 million floor plan or line of credit. If on average, each unit was $50,000 dealership cost, that means they could have 20 units, right? So if that has gone up, if the dealership's cost has gone up, now they may only have, if it's $75,000 a unit now, they can only have 15 units on the lot, right? It's really interesting, and it'll be interesting to see what happens, but I think that's actually going to cut out a lot of dealerships who were really trying to run with this COVID thing. And again, I've said this about manufacturers as well. The ones who aren't super established and broke in thinking that they could build, and catch the craze and make a ton of money really quick, this is going to be their time to fizzle out. Just because the dealerships who have been there, they have that credit limit, they have that relationship with the bank to get what they need. But the smaller ones, they're definitely going to be hurting a little bit more. I shouldn't even say the smaller ones, because some of the smaller ones have great floor plans and relationships, but it's the newer ones who aren't super established. So again, it'll be very interesting to see those. And it kind of sounds bad, but I'm excited for the RV industry to get back to the normal group of people, because most people in the RV industry are really good people. Even, the manufacturers, the parts suppliers, dealership salespeople. But there have been a lot of people who move in. They came in strictly for money to make a good chunk of change really quick and to move out of the industry. And so it'll be nice to get kind of that community family feel back. So yeah, I'm excited to see where that goes. And the last one, and I'll wrap it up with this, is the gas prices. Luckily, from what I've been seeing, at least in the Maryland area, gas prices have finally been coming back down. Again, that's really strong, especially for people with motorhomes and even like larger fifth wheels and stuff, where you're using a lot of gas to transport an RV down the road. Everybody was worried, what are gas prices going to do? Am I going to be priced out of RVing? And to see that coming back down, hopefully that trend continues and more people feel comfortable financially with making that investment traveling, or don't feel the need to have to sell their RV or whatever it is just because of the gas prices. All right, well, that pretty much wraps it up for us today, guys. And again, thank you guys so much for watching. We do our monthly industry update like this once a month, but every Wednesday we try to do educational videos, and we're definitely trying to get more how-tos coming to you soon. And then on Sundays, again, we do our vlog. We just got done with the Mattress reviews rally vlog. Again, it was a great one. Make sure to check that out. And quick last plug, if you guys are looking to purchase an RV, especially with the Hershey show coming up, I am doing the consultation, which is a 1-hour consultation with me for $99. We will link that down below. It's gonna be a great time to really prep, again, for the Hershey show or anything. Really get on a game plan. We can do multiple calls, whatever you need, it's custom fit to you. Also, let us know down in the comments below, which of these topics did you like hearing about? Let me know if you have any feedback on any of them, any more details, or if there's anything specific you would like to see me talk about for future RV industry updates. Thank you guys again so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. See ya!